Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday, the 18th of March. It is 1 past 1. Gone from the normal time of 12 o'clock, but we'll get to that in a minute. It is Crypto Fridays today on the Daily Bake. It is my favourite day of the week. As everybody knows from listening to my show and listening to me and watching the stuff that I get on there, I am fully invested into the Metaverse and crypto. So I have the luxury today of catching up with an old friend, Mr. Mark Brown. Mark, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. A bit stressed. That was a bit of a speedy flight in from Geneva this morning just to make this interview. That's how much I hold you in regard in this space.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure. Just sort of for people's viewers, we are live, guys. So if you've got any questions, I received about 40, probably more questions, which. And we'll get to this in a bit, but it's really interesting in this market space because I'm a recruiter, I'm a consultant in the crypto space. Do I have any business of getting stuck into the metaverse? I think so. I think, NFTs is a big part of it. We're all going to be trading in and working in the metaverse in the future. So I think that's fantastic. And when you said you sort of chucked me a message and said, I'd love to jump on, I'm getting involved and we'll come to what the exciting part of business that you're working on.
Yeah.
But I thought that's actually wonderful. I get to catch up with somebody that comes from, the digital advertising space, and I find it so interesting with different people. So I guess a good start, Mark, would be introduce yourself and maybe just give us a sort of a brief. How did you get here? How did we get to where we are today?
Okay, I'll tell you, I'll try and keep it down to about 2 minutes. So first off, graduated with a degree in physics and electronics. And did a stint working for an oil exploration company, playing with explosives and blowing up bits of land all around Pakistan, that part of the world. Came back, did work for a software house, working on submarine systems for MOD. Can't talk, maybe I can talk about that in more detail, but I won't today. But sort of official secrets and all that. I then moved into sales, working for computer public, so selling recruitment advertising. Into IT recruitment, so I've got a lot of recruitment experience, like yourself. Sold my recruitment business for a 7-figure sum about 20 years ago, and I sort of had a bit of personal tragedy. I lost my wife to cancer and had a young child, so I kind of had sort of 2-3 years out, moving down to Brighton from London where my parents were and focusing on my daughter. And then I kind of got a call from a mate, and this will link to what we're doing now, who had a business in the hotel industry. He had a soft brand called Great Hotels of the World. He said, can you come and do 4 weeks of consultancy to help me sort out some sales structure issues? Anyway, that 4 weeks turned into about 4 years. Just one project to another. And in the end, I thought, hang on a second, I live in Brighton. Commuting up to London is it takes up a lot of time, especially in summer. So I packed that in and set up my digital marketing agency, which pretty much what I was doing for the Great Hotels of the World. A lot of it was just marketing, online marketing, and running all their sales and managing their software business. Anyway, fast forward. So the digital marketing, SEO, all that kind of stuff. I've got
a little bit of golf thrown in. A little bit of golf.
Yeah, as much golf as possible and kite surfing.
Yeah.
I remember the time we met on the golf. Hang on a second, you animated that windsurfer that used to look really slim in the magazines 20 years ago.
Well, it's easy. I've got some of those pictures here actually, which is quite
all right. And anyway, so he has a very successful business called Worldwide Events, but it got and they put on loads of events for the hotel industry on the business side of the for hotels that sort of have conferences and business meetings and those kinds of hotels. They do a lot of sort of industry trade shows for them, and that got hammered in the pandemic. Peter, he lives in Bali. He was over last sort of September, just for a visit, and we caught up for a round of golf. Now he knows I've been into Bitcoin for years, and we had an argument about 5 years ago. He says it's all the scam. I was going, no, just put 1% of your wealth into it. He was saying, no, darling. Anyway, fast forward to last September. He goes, well, I think you could be right. Could have been right about all that crypto stuff. How do we make money out of it now? And I just said to him, the best way to make money out of crypto now is to start your own project.
Yeah.
So if you can find a way where you can metavise the business that you're in, or create a new business, an add-on, there's a lot of money out there that wants to invest. So he went off. Next thing I hear was a sort of email in December saying, hey, look, I've had an idea. I've met this other guy who's into crypto in Bali. He's a big influencer, and he's launched a couple of successful fundraisers for crypto businesses that he's got off the ground, and so this is what it is. It's creating a metaverse for exhibitions, conferences, events, and also where hotels and real estate, especially real estate, hotels, yacht brokers, those kinds of people with high-end assets, if we convert them into 3D realistic models, they can actually host people that they're selling to inside what it is that they're selling, and it's very powerful. So
RendezVerse, right?
RendezVerse, yeah.
RendezVerse. All the details.
You spelled it wrong there on Crypto Fridays.
I did. 100%. Now that I'm looking at your document, I did, but you know what? Spelling, let's just say, is not my forte.
Yeah.
So just Mark, before we get stuck too much into what RendezVerse is up into, what it's about, give us your view on what is the metaverse.
All right then. If you think about the first version of the internet was just the ability to send email and files, and then we had sort of Web 2.0 come along, which was the web browser. And also we faster internet connections. And I started off on a 4K modem. If you can't even imagine how slow that is. But what Web 2.0 did, it democratized information. Suddenly, information was available to everyone who had who now, if you've got a smartphone or a tablet or a PC, you can find out anything about anyone, anywhere, etc. Very easily, whereas before you just couldn't do that. So it democratized data, information, and communication. What the metaverse is, or 3.0, is the democratization of value and allowing people to have participate in alternate sort of realities. So it's democratizing money. So no longer do you, for example, let's say, for example, in Africa, there's well over 1 billion people who can't get bank accounts because bank accounts can't be bothered. They don't see if there's any money to be made out of them yet, so they haven't bothered. Well, they're missing out because there's so many blockchain startups and what have you going on in Africa to just give people the ability to have a bank account and to create contracts and to do commerce. So Africa is going to explode economically over the next few years because of blockchain. The ability for, like, we had an idea, or I planted the seed, Peter had the idea, developed it with this guy out in Bali, without having to go through your traditional venture capitalists and your gatekeepers to capital that we have in the West and in California. You just go straight to consumer, straight to retail investors who want to who believe in this stuff and want to participate. So literally, in January we raised a couple of $1 million from people we hadn't ever met. We've never met in real life. We might have spoken to some of them via WhatsApp or Telegram, but we've managed to get the project going based on going direct to people who the gatekeepers say shouldn't be allowed to invest in anything because they're not sophisticated investors.
Yeah.
So
Need to be doing all right for themselves. And
Yeah.
and you know what's interesting about this is, and for the people that are watching this that still struggle to get over the line on what the metaverse is,
Yeah.
go and watch Ready Player One. Or another good example, I was at my child's school catch up today with his teacher this morning, and she said he doesn't play Fortnite, does he? And I said, yeah, he does. And she said, oh, you should get him off that. I said, the decentralized system of what we've got coming forward and the Web 3.0 is going to be the future to our children.
Yeah.
So how do we not know that him putting his effort in and working in the metaverse, in the Fortnite metaverse, educating him on the future that he's going to have coming forward? So
well, so here's the thing. One of the reasons why I reckon, so like my nephew, he's 20, 21, and he's already sort of like bought and sold crypto and stuff, etc. But to his generation, the concept of tokens and stuff and earning these things in the game and paying for things in the game, they've been brought up at doing that for the last 8 or 9 years. So for that generation to adopt this tech, it's second nature to them. They're already used to it, whereas their parents can't get their head around it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Gucci launched the Gucci Garden in Italy, right?
Yeah.
And they all launched the Gucci Garden on Roblox. You can buy a handbag, an NFT handbag on Roblox for $4,000, and the actual real life one, the flesh and blood one, if you like, was $3,500.
Right. Yes. Well, and one of the partners on head of Web3 and our project, he have you heard of the Bored Apes?
Yeah.
NFTs. He bought one for $500,000 about 5 weeks ago. And basically, as soon as he bought it, he suddenly felt that sick feeling in his stomach. What have I done? So, and he's had that sick feeling for the last 5 weeks until last weekend when suddenly, out of the blue, some guy from Dubai has offered him a significant amount of higher figure for it. And now he doesn't know whether he wants to sell it.
Yeah.
Having been split for 5 weeks.
You know what I think is amazing, and we'll get to the RendezVerse in a minute. And I I'm just getting involved in this, and obviously I understand crypto. I place senior people from CEO level all the way down to contractors that work in crypto businesses and have done for some time. I worked with companies to get them authorized and get them onto the FCA register, which I'm not sure. Some of them wanted to, some of them didn't. And I have a space in Spatial where I do some meetings.
Yes.
I am very interested, and I've spoken to Bruno Lapole, who's got 170 people that work for his business, and they work in a virtual office. He's never met any of them, not one of them. And they all work in a virtual office, and they have everything like they would in a virtual space. So I live on the South Coast. I live in Goring. Yeah. My office is in Milton Keynes. So I would drive to Milton Keynes on a Monday morning.
Yes.
Sit in my office so the powers that be can see that I'm there.
Yeah.
Also, I can see that my staff are there.
Yeah.
And then I drive home 2 days later, a 4-hour drive. Whereas I can come to my office, put on my VR headset, look to my left and see Mo, look to my right, see Greg, see everybody else in the office in a same environment. Their details and instantly with all of my staff all over the nation.
Yeah,
they don't have to be nation based. So RendezVerse. Yep, we understand what the metaverse is. Hopefully, the guys that are watching this.
Yes.
So we understand what the metaverse is. We understand that the role it's got, what the type of person have got a role in making this change. Because let's just say, just because it's a generation that's younger doesn't make them stupid. Yep, it's the next generation. We're clutching on, right? Trying to figure out what it looks like. So tell me about this. I've had a look through your deck. I think it's fantastic. I'm right into this, by the way, so you don't have to convince me. I think more of a trade show environment sounds fantastic. So I can go right. We're going to go to a recruitment expo or a crypto expo. I'm going to have a GTS room there where people come and visit. I can have unlimited scheduling it all done through the system. I can then meet face to face virtually in the verse with people who want to come and discuss and talk to me in the comfort of my office, lounge, living room, bed, bath.
Yes.
Wonderful. So So when's it available? When can we start? And question that you may want to answer, you may not, Mark. We did about 30 seconds of prep before this, so forgive me. What are the costs to this? And I mean that in not just in because let's just, if we had a trade show, let's say I went to a trade show at the NEC, a recruitment trade show, it's going to cost me at least 10 grand for a space for a week.
Yeah.
It's going to cost me people costs, food costs, hotel costs, the cost of me not being able to do our actual job for that whole week. Plus,
and also you normally if you do a lot of you'd pay an exhibition company to design and build your stand,
100%.
collapse it down, store it,
everything, all that cost comes with it. So, and then you've got to store it. You're 100% right. Get it there. Then you've got to worry about who's booking your appointments. Are those people going to turn up?
Correct.
Is their logistics getting in going to be something that's sustainable? So, so are we looking at, and let's just be frank, is this going to be more expensive or less expensive?
It's difficult. We haven't even thought about it. But the whole premise would be that it would be less expensive than doing it in the physical world, for sure. Especially when you consider for the people attending as well, you take into account all the travel costs as well. When you look at it in the round, it's going to be less, significantly less expensive, I would hope, in the metaverse, especially if petrol keeps going up. It will be a lot cheaper.
Sustainability is not going to get any less, right? So it's good. We had COVID, so costs go up. There's a war, so costs go up. There's things change, costs go up.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing as well, especially for international conferences. This is resistant to uncontrollable events. So it's not just wars; it's things like COVID. Or a volcano erupts and flights are suspended for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
I was in Egypt. In Egypt when that volcano erupted. I got another 2 weeks of sitting on the beach on kite surfing. I failed tour.
Well, that has some benefit then. Yeah. But there are so many unforeseen events. So we definitely, if you look at the numbers. And the cost of running the metaverse, it's a lot less expensive than obviously running a physical building, event space with all the ancillary costs that you would have a normal event and an exhibition. So it would be ridiculous. It'll be like, I can tell you the analogy. It'll be like Shopify trying to charge you the same rent that you'd have to pay for a real shop every month to have your little.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Fantastic, wonderful. Thanks for getting that out there. So I got a question for you, and like I said, this we could sit here and talk for hours, and we'll follow up, and we'll go and play golf soon. Yeah. But is this like, for instance, if I go through Spatial, I can get somebody coming up and meeting with me. I can be VR goggled up. They can be watching it through their browser. Yeah. Yeah, I'm assuming it's the same sort of thing, right?
Okay, so what we're actually doing, we're going one step because we a lot of people who have already. So one of the questions you said right at the beginning, is it too early? Well, people have been tinkering around this space for a number of years already, and a lot of them is because of adoption of headsets. They think, right, we've got to give a 2D interface to
people who don't have them.
So, but you don't need to have an Oculus or a full-on headset. This is like I don't know if you can see it. It's an enclosure.
Yeah.
Okay. You can put your smartphone in. So we're building an app, which will be available probably. The demo version will be available in a couple of weeks, where people can actually access the parts of the metaverse we've already built, just using downloading the app, putting their mobile phone in, and they're in. So we've overcome that
obstacle,
that obstacle, and getting people to attend to attend in a 2D screen just defeats the object. Either you're in or you're out. It's kind of our attitude.
Absolutely wonderful. I love that. I'm going to stick with that. Either you're in or you're out. You're in or you're out. So when are we going to start? running networking events for crypto in this space?
That's a good one, actually. I can ask my CTO that if he can create me a specific crypto networking room.
I'll fill it, and we'll start doing it. Why not?
Yeah.
Because
I'll tell you where we're at the moment. So what we've already identified in one of our sort of target niches is sales directors of hotels. So roll back, 85% of the revenue in hospitality is in corporate meetings, events, and conferences. Okay. And every year, well, in 2019, and it's getting back there now after post-COVID, but we estimate around about 10 million on-site inspections from event planners visiting these hotels globally.
Yeah.
Okay. Huge. And at least half of them could be avoided if they could put on a headset and just go in and do their first inspection. You know, someone could fly somewhere, and as soon as they walk into the meeting room or the conference center, they just look and go, no, this is not right.
Yeah.
And they bugger off. But they had airfare, the carbon footprint, the time. I've got another early development partner. They host every year a major electronics company in America. They do a conference there, and every year they send 30 people to the hotel for a week. So the guy says, I have to cater for them. I have to give them accommodation, turn all the air conditioning on. It actually costs me quite a bit of money just to host them coming. He goes, with this, maybe only 2 of them need to come, and the rest can just do it all on the metaverse. So
just to go on that, just to explain it for the people that are not quite there.
Yeah.
So the hotel would design in the metaverse their hall.
So we're creating digital twins.
Create it perfectly.
Of their,
you can just virtually go and see it, walk around it, and get amongst it. Okay, that's where you
get amongst it. And more important, the difference between this and say a standard 360-degree photo tour, which you've probably seen on the estate agency sites and hotel centers. The difference here is they're actually in the space. Being hosted by the hotel sales director or sales manager. So they're having the conversation as though they were actually walking in together. We showed the first space we completed a couple of weeks ago to the hotel contact in Spain, and he actually went into the meeting room, and then he put the headset on, and it's a massive meeting room. It's thousands of square feet, and he was going like,
yeah.
Wow, it is amazing. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. And we walked around, and at the stage at the end, you stand on the stage with your goggles on, and because you can move around, it feels like you're about to do a talk to a whole audience of people. Exactly the same feeling. So you pretty much got all, apart from smell. And maybe
that's next, right?
Scratch and sniff is coming back. It's as close as you can get. The avatars will get more realistic, but the technology is it's really well now. But give it another 4 years, the headsets are going to be so much lighter. And even higher resolution and more processing, so that we can even increase the polygon count and make it like ultra photorealistic, like the latest PlayStation games and what have you.
Mark, these shows I like to keep them down and concise. We'll be on around about 25 minutes.
Yeah,
we can talk for hours, and I'm sure we will. So don't go anywhere. But how do people contact you? How do people get in touch with you if they have some sort of interest in this? Obviously, I have all your details.
So they could either just put Mark Brown 10x into Google, and my social profiles will come up, or just put RendezVerse into Google and connect to us
correctly.
Spelled correctly. Actually, maybe Google's smart though. It might figure it out that it's dopey recruitment windsurfer. Searching.
Well, Mark, I have no doubt this is going to be a fantastic success. You're an absolutely fantastic bloke. You're a good man. And you know what? I think now's the time for that to be hugely successful. And I look forward to doing our networking event, which we could do a Friday networking event every Friday.
Yeah.
RendezVerse.
Yes.
that could be part of my Crypto Friday. Fantastic. So
Definitely.
anyway, Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Have a wonderful day, everybody. Remember, Monday, we're back with Motivational Mondays. It has been the Daily Bake. Don't go anywhere, Mark. I'll be with there in 2 seconds. Have a wonderful weekend.